guys, welcome back to UK Scrap Addicts. This is Jess Creates and I'm here today with my take on the large photo, which is our theme for this month. So here is my large photo. It's one I took at the park and I've printed it A4, but I didn't choose to fit it to the frame. So it's printed slightly narrower, which is fine for me because I wasn't going to use the whole thing anyway. And I'm using it in my Project Life page that I'm creating for this day. It's only A4, so it doesn't quite fill all 3 pockets that I was hoping for it to. So the top one ends up being backed on some white card, but it's taking over the bottom 4x6 pocket, the top 4x6 pocket, and the middle 3x4 pocket. So I've just backed that top one onto some white card, and now I'm looking through this pad, which is a pink Paislee fancy free 6x6 paper pad, and I'm going to use some of these papers for my cards on this spread and also for some embellishments. So I've taken this paper that's got these tiny squares on, and I'm punching out some hearts and then punching out some circles and some tiny hearts as well. So I've taken a Project Life card. This one's just from September Skies, and I'm cutting out the edges of it because I'm just going to use the grid paper for my journaling. So I'm going to add it onto this card, and I think about the orientation I want it, and in the end I just cut it down a little bit smaller and I'm going to stick it onto that card. I'm using these Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams stickers on this layout, as well as some chipboard elements from Fancy Free. So I've got a green label that I've got in a past Studio Calico kit, and I'm just going to add this onto the side and cut the excess off, and I'm going to add on one of these stickers. I can't remember what it says and it's really tiny on my screen, but you can probably see what it says. I haven't got my layout in front of me, so I've just added on some leaves as well and some of those punched out pieces that I took out earlier, and I'm just going to stick those down with my Ucraft sticky dots, which I got from All Things Sticky, and these are really good dots because they're kind of bulky, so they raise things up a little bit. For this card, I'm just going to create a bit of a filler card, and I've added on that bird from the Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams stickers, and I'm just cutting out a label. I cut it square and I'm just using my hole punch to punch out those little rounded corners, which is something that I saw Inky Quill do. And I did think I might write something on this, but in the end I left it blank, and I've just added on a little pink and gold heart from those Maggie Holmes stickers again. I like to try and keep each of my layouts fairly consistent with the embellishments that I use because it just ties the whole page together. So I've cut down that little photo of my son facing away from me, and then I've cut out these 2 smaller ones and backed them on some green paper with triangles from that Fancy Free pad that I had. And I didn't quite realise when I'd done that that photo of my son is a little bit too small for that pocket. So after I finished filming, I just backed it on the same paper that I backed those smaller ones onto. So you'll see that in the close-ups at the end. And I wanted to keep this layout fairly simple and let the large photo and those cards that I've created kind of take the forefront of the attention. So some of the photos don't have any sort of embellishments on, and some of them just have really minimal ones. This is a Kelly Purkey stamp set called Spring Break, and it's new, so I'm just rubbing on it with an eraser just to try and stop it from being so sticky. And I'm not sure exactly what I did wrong here, so if anyone knows, do tell me. I'm using Stays On ink, and I'm covering the stamp with my ink, and then I'm going to stamp it onto this photo, and it gets a little bit stuck, so I kind of faff around with it a little bit, and I can see that it hasn't stamped properly, so I was trying to just press it up against the stamp, and I don't know if the ink dried or if it's possibly that because these photos were printed on my printer at home, that maybe it's taking off some of the ink. So I'm not sure if my stamp was too sticky or it was just the way I did it or something. Anyway, this is a new stamp to me and it's an Ali Edwards one. And all I'm using from it is this heart shape, which I'm now going crazy rubbing with my eraser because I don't want it to stick like the other one did. But this one stamps fine. So I'm just thinking it might be the ink that I've printed. So I might try them on some prints that I've got from True Print and see if that is any different. So I look at my stamp set for a little while and just think about putting some more on, but in the end I'm happy with what I've done, so I put my ink away. Now I'm just looking at these fancy free chipboard stickers, and these were in the sale at Hobbycraft, which is why I picked them up, and they match the papers that I got. And I really like the colours in it, but there's something kind of strange about the way they've been cut out. So it looks as though the machine had tried to cut them not quite in line. So they've got a little bit of a indent, which I wasn't very impressed with, but it might just be my ones. So I'm just using this ampersand and another one of those labels that I've cut out of that sheet. And I'm just going to adhere that to the top right of this photo. And then I use a couple more of those chipboard shapes on some of the other photos. So yeah, there, I was just looking at the way that they had some indents on. But I was really pleased to get this in the sale in Hobbycraft. In the UK, we very rarely have sales on scrapbooking things, or that's what it feels like. So it was nice to get some, and I've just created a triangle with those. So I've just done my journaling on there, and then you can see this is the photo that I'd cut out and it doesn't quite fit in that pocket. So I've just backed it on that paper there. So I hope you enjoyed this look at how I used a large photo in my project life, and do make sure to check out everybody else's large photos from this month. I hope you enjoyed this. Do give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you next month. Thanks for watching.